Hey everyone, so today we're going to talk a little bit about eyeshadow primers. Eyeshadow primers can be used for a variety of reasons. Some people use it because they have an excess amount of oil in their eyelid skin and so they don't want their eyeshadows to crease. Some people use eyeshadow primer to cover up any discoloration or veining that's in the eye area so that it doesn't show through when they put their eyeshadow on. And some people use eyeshadow primer to make a eyeshadow that is not that pigmented, more pigmented and vibrant, and just use it to the best of its abilities. Sometimes we use eyeshadow primers for a variety of those reasons. Today I would like to focus on the best eyeshadow primer to use to make an unpigmented shadow more vibrant. You may recall in a recent haul video I showed you one of the new palettes from the Wet n Wild holiday collection. It's called a Great Glistener. The colors are beautiful in this palette, but when I swatched it, I was pretty disappointed about the pigmentation. So the way I looked at it was I had two choices. I could either return it and get my money back, or I could find a way to make it work. So because I think it is so beautiful, I decided to go ahead and find a way to make it work. So what I did was I took all the eyeshadow primers that I have, plus another product, and I swatched the primers, and then I put one of the eyeshadows over the primers to see which one worked the best. Wasn't really expecting much variation between them, to tell you the truth, and boy was I surprised. There was one clear winner. So today I'm going to show you what I used for primers, and at the end of the video I'm going to include a picture of my arm swatched with all the primers with the same eyeshadow from this palette over it, and you will see that is definitely clear evidence as to who was the winner. So just for a frame of reference, this eyeshadow is the one that I used to do the swatches with, just so you know. Okay, so the 5 candidates were Urban Decay Primer Potion. I used MAC Painterly Paint Pot, which is not an eyeshadow primer in the traditional sense, but many people do use this as an eyeshadow primer. The third thing that I used was concealer, because I've been doing that a lot lately and I liked the way it covered my discoloration and veining, but I wasn't really sure what it was doing in terms of the eyeshadow, so I was interested to see what the results would be. So this is just Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. The fourth thing that I used is a product that is usually used to hold glitter or any eyeshadow that has a lot of fallout in place, and this is LA Splash Eyeshadow Sealer Base. It's sort of like a glue-like texture that will really just hold something in place really well. So I wanted to see how that would perform in conjunction with my test. And lastly is E.L.F. Eyelid Primer. And this is not from their studio line, this is just from the regular line. It costs $1. Okay, so what I did was I just swatched all 5 of those on my arm in a pattern, and then I put some of that eyeshadow from the Great Glistener palette by Wet n Wild's holiday collection on top of the primer swatches, and the results were shocking. Okay, let's talk a little bit about how each one performed. When I did my swatches on my arm, I did 3 across the top and then 2 on the bottom, which you'll see in the photograph that I'm going to show you. The 3 that were on the top, it made no difference whatsoever. Okay, so didn't help with the pigmentation. These eyeshadow primers or things I was using in place of eyeshadow primers, they may help with other problems, but they definitely don't help with vibrancy. What were those three? Urban Decay Primer Potion was the first thing I used. This is very, very expensive, and I was shocked that it did not make the eyeshadow any more vibrant. It's also a very clear primer, so it's not going to help you with covering up discoloration or veining in your eye area. So really the only thing this is good for is for oily eyelids, which I do not have. So I don't think I'll be repurchasing this. And this is not my first tube of this, so nobody was more surprised than me with the results that I got from this test. Okay, secondly was my MAC Painterly Paint Pot. I really like this for covering up discoloration and veining, but it did nothing to add to the vibrancy of the shadows. So, you know, it is what it is, I guess. Same thing with my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. Of course I like the way this conceals my discoloration and veining, but didn't make the shadow any more vibrant. So what was on the bottom row? On the bottom row was the LA Splash Sealer, which is really just a whole glitter in place, or anything, like I said, that has a lot of fallout. That did okay, but it wasn't the best thing. The best thing, and you'll see in the photograph. In the photograph, on the bottom row, the LA Splash is on the left, the E.L.F. is on the right, and it'll be clear to you which one is the E.L.F. because it's pigmented, vibrant. The shadow is E.L.F. Eyelid Primer, $1. This made that Wet n Wild shadow come to life, dark, vibrant, bright. I was shocked, people. I was shocked because when I initially reviewed the E.L.F. Eyelid Primer, I knew it was good. I gave it a good review, but I had no idea how good it was until I compared it to everything else I own. So if you're looking, if you have some eyeshadows that are not that pigmented, but you love the color and you want to use them, I would recommend the E.L.F. Eyelid Primer, $1. You can find it at Target, Christmas Tree Shop, Bed Bath & Beyond, Kmart, any place that sells E.L.F. products. I've seen this pretty much at all those places. It's part of their standard line. I used it today to do the look that I have on. I have on 4 colors from that great Glistener palette that I showed you. And I love it. I love it. I am so glad I found a way to make this work. And you may want to give this a try if you see it in stores, because although it is not that pigmented, the colors I think are beautiful, and there's enough of a variety in there that you can do a lot of different looks, I think, with this palette. So let me just give you one quick last look at this in case you're interested. You get a frosty blue, white, and gold on the top. In the middle is a denim type blue, a blue violet, and sort of a rusty brown color. And then at the bottom, oh, and the finish on those is sort of like a shimmer, I would say. And then on the bottom is a matte black and a matte sort of warm brown. So that's what you get in that palette. And there are other palettes in that collection. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know about this, and I hope that was helpful, and I will see you next time. Bye.